Now, out of all the top tier main battle tanks, this is the least enjoyable main battle tank, at least for me. And I'm talking about the M1 Abrams. Now, I've been driving this thing for the last couple days, and I don't want to say that it sucks, because, you know, it's not really accurate to say that, but I did not enjoy this thing at all. Now, the M1 Abrams has a 105 military main cannon. It is fairly fast, 72 counter power top speed. The reverse is 38 counter power, decent armor. It has blowout panels, and overall the survivability is decent. Hull wise, you know, it's a decent hull. However, when it comes to the main cannon, I feel like the ammo that you get is insufficient for top tier, for tier 10. It would be okay for like tier 9, but for tier 10 I don't really think so. Average penetration of 400mm. The reload is good though, 5-second reload. But the ammo that you get on this vehicle is, I would say, not sufficient. You do get a PFSDS shells and HATFS shells. The AP has an average penetration of up to 350-370mm. The HTFS ammo 400mm, which is probably the lowest amount of penetration that we have seen so far in top tier. And when I say top tier, this is like literally the highest tier currently in the game. So frontally, you can still destroy vehicles from the front if you aim at the weak spots, but the composite armor on the T70 series, on the Leopards, and in some cases even on the AMX vehicles, will be completely immune to this shell. As I mentioned before, side armor, it's no big deal. You can punch through the side armor on most of these vehicles. Weak spots, also not a big deal. You can aim at weak spots and it will probably go through. But for example, if we look at the T72, it has TGMs, has very powerful AP ammo, much more powerful shells than the M1 Abrams. The Leopard also gets much better ammo. And all of these vehicles can pretty much low pan the Abrams from the front. Now, the Abrams does have a weak spot between the hull and turret, mainly talking about the turret ring, which is where you should be aiming at when you aim for the Abrams, or if you're using any other top tier vehicle. Pretty much any top tier vehicle can just shoot at the lower plate and it will go through the lower plate quite easily. The vehicle also does have a weak spot in the turret, the same weak spot that the XM1 has. Basically, if you hit the Abrams while it is reloading, you can blow up the ammo in the turret, because the blowout panels will be opened while reloading, and that will cause a catastrophic vehicle detonation upon impact. However, the speed of this vehicle is decent. I mean, it has a jet engine, as we have already heard. You can pretty much hear the jet engine on this vehicle, which is, you know, when it comes to the overall design of the hull and the details and stuff like that, I can't complain. It looks amazing. Very high detailed model. The game does look very nice. And the overall sound design is decent as well. So that's, I guess, the good parts, the good aspects of the vehicle. However, I feel like this vehicle definitely needs to get better ammo, or it needs to be put in tier 9, because at the moment this vehicle is severely outperformed by the Leopards, the T70 and the AMX vehicles that you can find within the tier. Does it mean that Abrams is bad? No, not really. As I mentioned before, I don't really want to say that this vehicle sucks, because I don't really think that's completely the case, although personally I'm also kind of leaning towards that, you know, it sucks part, but I still managed to get some good battles. Admittedly, it took me some time to get good battles with this vehicle, because I don't know, it was one of the most painful to start top tier vehicles that I've played so far, and I've played all of them. Oh look, Abrams, and where did that shall even go? I have no idea. Now, Abrams versus Abrams. You will not be able to penetrate different Abrams with an Abrams. Actually, maybe you could, or maybe not. Well, yeah, I guess maybe with heat shells you can, although I'm not really sure where I'm shooting at the moment, but the AP shells are just very bad on this vehicle. HATFS shells have a much better chance to penetrate than the heat shells. And it's funny because other vehicles are able to penetrate the Abrams floor plate easily, while the Abrams struggles to do the same thing. And as I mentioned before, that's one of the flaws with this vehicle at the moment. It is good for flanking, it is good for stuff like that, but you will be limited by what you can do because of the ammo that you have. Also, the vehicle is vulnerable to top-down ATGMs. It has the commander's hatch that I believe can be overpressured, although I haven't really experienced that myself, and I haven't really done that myself. Usually when I aim at a Abrams with a ATGM box, I aim for the lower plate or turret ring. That's usually when it detonates. Also, there's a weird bug with the vehicle where you basically just lose your ammo out of the blue. But if you click on the bomber and if you fire your shell and if you enter the bomber, and once you finish with the bomber run, the ammo just disappears in some cases. And speaking of ATGMs, there is an ATGM box. Now my shell just ghosted through, I think. It was kind of funny. Did 0 damage to the Mephisto. If it were a Leopard or something, it would have been destroyed, and yeah, that was just terrible aim at this moment. Well, ATGMs do destroy the Abrams, as I mentioned before, so you have to be careful of ATGMs. And also my artillery did hit the Mephisto, so that's one ATGM box down. It is funny that the M60 MBT has 580mm of penetration, while this vehicle gets about 400, and that the M60 MBT is a tier 9, while this is a top tier 10 vehicle. Well, current top tier. Well, let's go and do another battle with the Abrams. Now hold down, as I mentioned before, the gun depression on this vehicle is very good. You can do hold down with the Abrams quite easily. It does have a tough turret, although you have to be careful because, you know, armor in top tier isn't really the most reliable thing. But yeah, it has a tough turret, excellent hold down performance as well. So if you can find a hold down position, you can play the vehicle that way without a problem. Again, just be careful around tandem ATGMs and stuff like that. Those will go through. Tandem ATGMs punch through pretty much anything. Even reactive armor will fail to stop tandem ATGM. Only the snail magic armor can pretty much stop a tandem ATGM from going all the way in. However, despite me disliking the ammo, it does have a very good reload. The reload on this thing is really decent, so you will be able to fire a lot of shells, which is, as I mentioned before, a good thing. Not quite a auto-loader, but it does get near auto-loader speed, so you don't have to worry about that. The reload will always be very good on the Abrams. And look, a TTD. That's a vehicle that I haven't seen in a very long time. The TTD is like a mini Abrams. Very interesting tank. That's a lot of vehicles that are just spawned out of nowhere, right in the middle. So the Abrams does pretty much play like any other main battle tank that you will find in top tier. with the exception maybe having slightly better armor than most of the other main battle tanks. But that is to be expected, after all the Abrams is known for its armor, very decent armor. On the front and on the turret, the side armor is much more vulnerable of course, but the side armor isn't meant to be shown towards the enemy team. And what do we have there? T-72. Well, that's funny. It missed the lower plate. And no damage in the second attempt. Let's try this again. There we go. Sometimes the ammo just refuses to explode, even though it should. Another Abrams turret ring. Yeah, that did some damage. You can hit the turret ring if you aim. There we go. That's the turret ring, I believe. That's a big weak spot on the Abrams. Well, surprisingly I took 180 GM to the face and nothing happened. Oh, actually no, it did do some damage. Thankfully it did not detonate the ammo. But the blowout panels work quite nicely. If you do lose your ammo, if the blowout panels are activated, you will lose ammo, by the way. You will have to reload again. Okay, that's one vehicle less to worry about, and we have a vehicle on the side. M1128, that's the next vehicle that I'll be driving, by the way. Okay, well that wasn't too bad. Let me repair in peace, or not. T-72, they did absolutely nothing. I just love when that happens. Honestly, so far, by far my least favorite top tier main battle tank. I just prefer the Leopard a lot more, or the T-72. The Leopard feels like the most effective main battle tank in this tier at the moment. We will see if they add more. I mean, they will add more top tier tanks. And the platoon system will also be dissolved very soon. So that will be pretty interesting to see how that goes. When I say pretty soon, I believe maybe next month, maybe in 2 months, but I'm fairly sure the platoon system is getting dissolved very quick. And well, with that being said, that would be it for the Abrams. Tell me what you think about this vehicle. Do you like the Abrams? Do you dislike the Abrams? Do you prefer the other main battle tanks? Tell me in the comments down below. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe. And as always, I'll see you next time.